So today, right now, we're just gonna, as of now, look through some of the physics that is going on in the game and some of its current progress. So one of the mechanics that I've been pondering with is trying to be able to open a door. And I successfully did it here. And it's a little wonky, as right now it doesn't necessarily work at the way it's intended to. But it does open a door if you jerk it up, if you just try and play with it and jerk around with it. And then we also have a rolling ball throughout the game. So these are just two physics mechanics that I'm having and I'm looking to implement as for the future down the road. But to just go ahead and just kind of explain, kind of like recap the game as of now, you're starting into this pit here. Then I'm walking around this cave. And then I'm seeing, okay, there's a little bit of an opening here. And so really like the intent behind this game is really just going to be, okay, well, the player is just going to fall into this pit and he's just going to work his way up. And that was actually supposed to be a ball. Not entirely sure what the heck is going on, but it's definitely something that I would want to implement. But the objective here is you have a ball and your goal is to now just kind of like place it and jerk this platform in order to move. Now, I haven't been able to implement a custom, say, like solution towards being able to have the player move with the platform. But as of right now, that's something that I can go ahead and fix. I'm not entirely sure how hard it would be in terms of just like whether this will be done through like visual scripting or so on and so forth, or if we're just going to keep the default movement as it is. Okay, so now I'm in my own room, and this is just going to be like one of the physics puzzles that I've been able to successfully implement as of now. There's a little hole in there, and that's something that I can fix a little bit later. But right now, I'm going to start here, and this is going to be one room that the player is going to be trying to escape and focus on. And I have a couple of crates that I can go ahead and just try to push around. And the intent behind this is you're trying to like reach the set of stairs that you got going on over there. So I'm going to push a couple of these crates. And they are flying in the air completely. I don't want to say it's intentional, but something I can go ahead and fix. But yeah, here we are. I made it to the stairs. And for the next room, it is ideally very similar. I can push this big crate. If I want to out of the way, it will be a little bit tricky. But I can go ahead, push this around. And then I'm not able to kind of like jump on it myself. Though I do, so I would need the help of some of the smaller crates that I've gone ahead and like tried to implement. Okay. We're gonna try to make our way up. Okay, that's pretty good. And then so the other part of the mechanics here is I'm gonna push a couple of crates to make a little stair, to make some stairs, and I'm gonna try to reach the next room that I went ahead and tried to configure up. So I can jump on top here. Oh, it's on the other side. Shoot. And there's this like little issue that I'm dealing with, where like the player is able to just go ahead and just like walk through like the mount of the walls. Not entirely sure how like hard an issue it would be to like scale down and fix, but this is right now this is one of my mechanics. So intentionally one of my goals. So down here I have a little bit of like a mini tramp that I set up via a script, and my intent behind this was to just like once the player reaches this point of the level, he's going to jump down to the top, jump to the bottom of this little tramp that I set up that as of right now it's just like a little springboard, and to reach to the other side of this little platform here. But then I've replaced that via a little script, and now I can see that I cannot, for the life of me, get up on top of there. But I can actually go ahead, and this is actually be an intentional feature. The platform is stuck on the player's head, so what you can actually do is control a platform that is bouncing high up in the air, and then just go ahead and reach to the top. So then I make my way out of room 1, of room 2 here. And so a couple of physics puzzles here. Okay. So now that wasn't an issue that I had recently. Before, this was just like a little like sphere that was just like completely stretched out. But one of the other physics puzzles that I've been having right now is I take this ball. Okay, that was unintentional. But I can then go ahead and one of the designs there, I'm like, oh god, this is a stretched ramp. So one of the intent behind this is you're not able to let me kind of go back to that portion of the level. All right. So you start here and you're completely walled off. And then you have this little spear, and then you have a little bit of a drawbridge. So when you knock the spear, it's going to create this little drawbridge, and I can now just like jump on top of these platforms. So if I go ahead and just kind of continue to phase out the rest of the physics puzzle, sorry if it's very laggy. So you have this little platform, all right? And then you have a little spear. You're gonna knock down this little platform as this little drawbridge. You're then going to use that momentum to go ahead and just jump on top of these two platforms here, make your way up to this little ramp, and then you'll be introduced to another ball and another drawbridge. And then you're going to use that spear to knock over this drawbridge, and to then just go ahead and knock that down. Then you're going to jump from like the ledge of this platform here. And let me open Pro Builder. You're going to jump on top of this little ledge here to the top of this ledge here, and they're going to be introduced via another ball and another one of these physics puzzles. But this time it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because I have this ramp that just takes you out of the level. And then what you got to do is now just like control the ball as it's moving down toward the ramp, and just make your way down to this drawbridge here and knock that down. And then that's gonna now allow you to cross to the next portion of the level. And it's not very polished. As of right now, it's mainly just kind of developing a couple of rough ideas. So then you head into this room. Then you're introduced to another spring again. Now, I'm not entirely sure how entirely complicated or difficult in terms of just being able to have the player just jump up to this tramp here and then have it project some momentum. If I can't do that to the player, then I'm more than willing to do this with objects. Then the idea behind this is now you're also, when you try to walk through, you're walled off. And then the point of this exercise that we've got going on is, the idea behind it is I'm planning to have at least a couple of different crates that you're going to go ahead and try to push around through the level. So you're completely blocked off from here. And I also want to make sure that as of right now, so you have a couple of crates. One of the first crates, you're going to drag one crate to this little spring here. And then the intent from there is now you're going to carry on this crate, hop it over to the other room. And then from there, you're introduced by two more springs. And then we're going to repeat a very similar mechanic. We're going to take the little crate, hop it over to this little platform here. And then we're just going to use this as a momentum like a little like bridge to allow us to go from this little platform here to this edge here, and then from this platform here to this platform here. And then that's going to be the end of a physics puzzle, another physics puzzle in another room. So the intent behind this is really just going to be each room is going to have its own like puzzle that I've got going on right now. Then I am introduced via another ball, and this is a trying to do like a little bit of like a Super Mario like Galaxy like inspired effect, where you have this ball, and then it's really just going to be like you're like pushing a ball, and then you just have like just like you against like the environment. And then like the entire mechanic behind it, this is like the layout of the room that I've configured out so far. So then I'll be pushing a ball. I will just make my way through this series of platforms that I've got going on here. And then the idea behind it is the player is going to take this ball, knock over this boulder, and then it's going to allow him to now just cross over through this tunnel and reach the other room. And I'm undecided in terms of whether or not, in terms of like some like physics puzzles, in terms of just like instead of just doing springboard, pushing a ball and like pushing a border here, maybe think about another kind of like special like little like physics mechanic to make this last challenge even harder. Then it's gonna have its own set of puzzles, and then from there, you're now gonna go from this room back to wherever you started. So yeah, that's like the progress that I've got going on as of right now. But I have to say, and in terms of like polishment, like this one is like much more polished than like the other rooms. But it's mainly just kind of as of right now developing a couple of physics puzzle ideas going on. I think so far it's a really great start. Now it's just a matter of execution. And yeah, that is it for me right now. And I want to thank you for watching.